the voice of a news reporter echoing in his ears. It's been a month since police discovered the body at the junkyard. Investigators still have no leads on whether this was an accident or foul play, while initial reports suggest the victim was drunk, but nearby residents reported hearing machinery late that night, suggesting he wasn't alone. "Are you even listening?" the nurse asked sharply, standing by his side. He turned his head toward her, ready to offer a dismissive response, but the sight of her froze him in place. Her eyes were gone. A chill ran down his spine, his face pale with fear. "Are you okay?" she asked. "You look like you've seen a ghost." Her eyes were back, normal, concerned. "I'm fine," he said, his voice strained. "Just tired. I'll leave early today." She nodded. "I'll call for a replacement doctor." Dark clouds churned in the sky, and rain began to pour as he drove. A month. A whole month, without killing. "It's starting to get to me. I can't let them take over." At a red light, he noticed a woman standing on the corner, waiting to cross. As she stepped onto the street, she glanced at him, again with no eyes. He turned his head away as she walked away. He arrived home, exhausted and drained. Ariana, his daughter, ran to greet him with her usual cheer, her tiny arms wrapping around his waist. "Dad, you're home early. Let's play." He stared down at her, his gaze fixating on her bright, innocent eyes. "So beautiful," he murmured. His mind snapped back, and he staggered backward, horrified by his own thoughts. He says to babysitter, "I'll pay you extra. You need to stay for a few more hours. Dad's not doing well. Maybe it's just work, or he isn't sleeping." After my wife's death, her spirit began to haunt me, demanding Ariana's eyes. "Rest now, my love. Tonight, I'll bring you a pair of eyes." After the rain eased, he stepped out again, into his usual hunting ground. He spotted a woman in a yellow raincoat walking alone. Her hood shielded her face. His pace quickened as he followed her. Sensing his presence, she glanced back and started to run. He followed. She darted into an alley, only to find herself cornered. "Don't worry," he called out. "I'm a friend. I'm not going to hurt you." She turned towards him, lowering her hood. His breath hitched. It was Ariana's babysitter. His mind raced, struggling to piece together the coincidence, but before he could speak, the roar of an engine cut through the silence. A van screeched to a halt, blocking the alley behind him. He turned and froze. It was his van, the same one he had destroyed weeks ago. "That's impossible," he whispered, taking a step back. The babysitter let out a low, guttural growl, sharp teeth glinting. Her tongue stretched unnaturally long as she smirked. Her eyes glowed red. "What are you?" he stammered, his voice trembling. She lunged forward, grabbing his face with inhuman strength and slamming him inside the van. "Easy, Cassandra," a man with a mohawk peak from inside. "We need him alive." "Let's take him to the master," she said, back in her human form.